Tariffs are like taxes on goods from other countries. They are fees imposed by governments on imported products, making these goods more expensive than their domestic counterparts. This is done to protect local industries from foreign competition and to generate revenue for the government. Imagine you want to buy a cool foreign car, but there's a tariff on it. This tariff increases the car's price, making it less attractive compared to a similar car made locally. The idea is to encourage you to buy the local car instead. That means the car just got more expensive. The higher price might make you reconsider your purchase or look for alternatives. This is exactly what tariffs are designed to do: influence consumer behavior and protect local businesses. Tariffs are a big deal because they change how we buy and sell things around the world. They can alter trade routes, affect the availability of products, and even shift the balance of economic power between countries. These taxes can spark trade wars. When one country imposes tariffs, others might retaliate by imposing their own tariffs. This can lead to a cycle of increasing taxes and tensions, disrupting global trade. Countries might slap tariffs on each other's goods. This tit-for-tat strategy can escalate quickly, affecting not just the countries involved but also the global economy. This can hurt businesses and make things more expensive for everyone. Companies might struggle to sell their products abroad, leading to layoffs and higher prices for consumers. Tariffs are a powerful tool, but they can have unintended consequences. While they might protect certain industries, they can also harm others and lead to economic inefficiencies. Understanding tariffs is important for understanding today's global economy. They play a crucial role in international relations and economic policies, influencing everything from stock markets to everyday shopping. They affect what we buy, how much things cost, and even where people work. Tariffs can lead to shifts in production, with companies moving operations to avoid high taxes, impacting local job markets. So, the next time you hear about tariffs, remember they're not just about economics, they're about our interconnected world. They shape the way countries interact, the flow of goods and services, and ultimately, our daily lives. Understanding tariffs helps us grasp the complexities of global trade and the delicate balance of international economics. Remember when President Trump put tariffs on goods from China? It was a bold move that sent shockwaves through the global economy. It was a big deal. News outlets couldn't stop talking about it, and debates raged on about the potential impacts. These tariffs, part of his America First policy, aimed to protect American jobs. The idea was to make American-made products more competitive by making imported goods more expensive. But things got complicated. The auto industry felt the impact immediately. Car manufacturers, who rely heavily on a global supply chain, were suddenly facing higher costs. Cars use parts from all over the world. From microchips made in Taiwan to steel from South Korea, the components come together from various countries. Tariffs on steel and aluminum, for example, raised costs for American car manufacturers. These materials are essential for building cars, and the increased costs had to be absorbed somewhere. This led to higher prices for consumers and uncertainty in the market. Car buyers found themselves paying more, and dealerships struggled to explain the sudden price hikes. The Trump trade wars were like a shock to the system. Economists and analysts were constantly trying to predict the next move and its potential fallout. They showed how interconnected the global economy is and how policies in one country can ripple across borders. The tariffs didn't just affect the US and China, they had global repercussions. The auto industry, reliant on global supply chains, became a prime example of this interconnectedness. Manufacturers had to navigate a complex web of suppliers and tariffs, making it clear that no industry operates in isolation. Trade negotiations became more intense, with countries trying to protect their own industries while dealing with the new tariffs. The auto industry had to adapt quickly to these changes. Despite the challenges, the industry continued to innovate. New models were introduced and companies looked for ways to cut costs without compromising quality. Consumers, though initially hit with higher prices, eventually saw some stabilization as the market adjusted. The resilience of the auto industry and its ability to adapt was on full display. The Trump trade wars highlighted the importance of international cooperation and the delicate balance of global trade. It was a period of uncertainty, but also one of learning and adaptation for the auto industry and beyond. Let's look at Stellantis, the company behind car brands like Jeep, Ram, and Chrysler. They make cars in America but use parts from all over. When tariffs hit, Stellantis felt the squeeze. The tariffs on steel and aluminum made building cars in the US more expensive. Stellantis had to make tough choices. They even considered closing some American factories and moving production elsewhere. This would mean job losses for American workers. Stellantis' story is a real-world example of how tariffs can backfire. Instead of protecting American jobs, they threatened them. The situation highlighted the delicate balance between protecting domestic industries and navigating a globalized economy. The UAW caught in the crossfire. The United Auto Workers, or UAW union, represents workers in the auto industry. This union has a long history of advocating for the rights and well-being of its members, ensuring that their voices are heard in an industry that is constantly evolving. They fight for fair wages, benefits, and job security. These are not just abstract concepts but essential elements that affect the daily lives of thousands of workers and their families. The UAW's efforts have led to significant improvements in working conditions over the years. Tariffs put the UAW in a tough spot. These tariffs, intended to protect American jobs, have had a mixed impact on the industry. While they aim to shield domestic workers from international competition, they also introduce new challenges. On the one hand, tariffs were supposed to protect American jobs. They were designed to make American-made products more competitive by imposing taxes on imported goods. This, in theory, should boost domestic production and employment. On the other hand, they made car production more expensive, potentially leading to job losses. The increased cost of imported materials and parts can drive up production costs, making it harder for American companies to compete, even domestically. The UAW had to walk a tightrope, supporting American workers while recognizing the complexities of global trade. Balancing these interests requires careful negotiation and strategic planning, as the union must consider both immediate and long-term impacts on its members. The UAW's experience shows how tariffs can create winners and losers. While some sectors may thrive under protectionist policies, others may suffer, leading to a fragmented workforce with varying levels of job security and satisfaction. While some workers might benefit from protectionist policies, others might find their jobs at risk. This dichotomy highlights the uneven effects of such policies, where the intended benefits do not always reach all workers equally. It underscores the need for policies that consider the needs of all workers in a globalized economy. A more holistic approach is required, one that takes into account the interconnected nature of modern industries and the diverse needs of the workforce. Only then can we hope to create a fair and sustainable economic environment for everyone involved. The downside of tariffs: a bumpy road. Tariffs might seem like a good idea at first, protect our workers, right? But there's a downside. Tariffs can make things more expensive for everyone. Remember that cool foreign car? With tariffs, it might be too expensive to buy now. And it's not just cars. Everything from clothes to electronics can get pricier when tariffs are involved. This hurts consumers, especially those on tight budgets. Tariffs can also hurt businesses. Companies that rely on imported materials face higher costs. This can lead to job losses and slower economic growth. In the end, tariffs can harm the very people they're supposed to help.